Hello, everyone. I'm here today with my student, Feng Lao. Nice to see you, Feng.
Hi, Robert.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good. You know, I wanted to ask you a very simple question. What is most difficult about English?
I think it's trying to understand all of the different words. This is so much vocabulary.
That's true. English is the only language that has over 1 million words.
Wow, that's a lot. Why are there so many?
Uh, English is actually four languages together. It has a very unusual history. Uh, Let me tell you about it.
Okay.
Though we think of the language we call English as coming from England, it's surprising that almost none of the language actually originated there. It started long ago, probably around 4000 BC, in the late Neolithic age, and far from England, in an area we now call the Proto-Indo-European Homeland. This area was located east of Europe and north of what are now the Middle Eastern countries. The Proto-Indo-European people farmed and hunted. They also used money, so they traded and traveled, and they migrated in all directions. The languages they spoke changed, but they all started with a similar beginning. This is why there is a large family of languages in faraway places that are all different, but all have the same roots. They are all part of the same language family and are called the Indo-European languages. The first branch of the Indo-European family to come to England was the Celtic. Celtic people and cultures are quite varied, and they spread throughout Europe. The earliest references to the Celts in what is now Great Britain was by the Greek geographer Pytheas. He explored the islands between 330 and 320 BC and named them High Britanniae, or the Britannic Islands. The Celts of the Britannic Islands were separated into many different tribes, but it's simplest to divide them three ways: Caledonia, or Pictland, in the north in what is now Scotland, Hibernia to the west in what is now Ireland, with Britannia in the south and west in what is now England. The group of languages spoken by the people of the Britannic Islands has been called Insular Celtic because they were isolated from the other Celtic languages in continental Europe. The Irish and Scotch Gaelic languages and the Welsh language are descended from the different Celtic languages. Some words in modern English from Celtic include shamrock, plaid, and of course whiskey. And some very modern words we wouldn't expect, like clutter, hubbub, phony, and slob. The Romans came next in 55 BC, led by Julius Caesar. He won all his battles, but he didn't stay. About 100 years later, in 43 AD, the Romans came back under Emperor Claudius and established the province of Britannia. This is the area that is England today, the southeastern part of the main island, and included parts of what are now Wales and Scotland. The Romans built Britain's first real towns, with stone roads, walls, and bridges, and all the things we think of as city buildings: temples, shops, theaters, and public baths. Many of Britain's major cities, such as London and Manchester, were founded by the Romans. The Roman language was Latin, so these place names are of Latin origin. There's a lot of Latin in modern English, but only part of it came from the Roman occupation. This is because Latin would come back again and again from some other invaders. But some early Latin words in English were probably to do with towns and roads, such as street, mile, foods, such as wine, cheese, butter, animals the Britons had never seen, such as elephants, and words from trading, such as an especially popular word in Hong Kong, cheap. The Romans ruled Britannia for hundreds of years, but by the 4th century AD, the Roman Empire was in decline. They left Britannia in 410 AD, leaving the Britons to fend for themselves. The civilized Britons were under constant attack from the savage Picts in the north. The king of the Britons decided he needed help, so in AD 449 he invited the Jutes, a powerful Germanic tribe, to Britain to defend against the Picts. But the Jutes took over, and other Germanic people, the Saxons and the Angles, also poured into Britain. Soon Germanic languages overwhelmed the Celtic language in Britannia. Celtic survived in the local languages of Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, and the language of Britain became Anglo-Saxon, also known as Old English. English gets its name from the Angles and is classified as a Germanic language. English words from Anglo-Saxon are usually short and basic words about everyday things. Colors, such as green. Seasons, such as winter. The land, such as meadow. The home, such as bed. The family, such as sister. Animals, such as deer. And things people did in their everyday life, such as cooking. Ladle. Eating. Drink. Sewing. Thimble. Farming. Plow. Hunting. Knife. And carpentry. Nail. Also, because much of the structure of an English sentence is Germanic, a lot of the small words that are used to make a sentence, such as pronouns, prepositions, and modal auxiliaries, came from Anglo-Saxon. Above, can, could, each, I, if, in, it, may, might, must, of, on, shall, should, under, up, us, will, would, you. In 597 AD, Latin returned, but not from a military invasion. By this time, Rome was Christian. The leader of the church, Pope Gregory, sent the Gregorian mission, headed by Augustine, to Canterbury in England to convert the Anglo-Saxons to Christianity. Thus began the tradition of Latin and English in religion and education. English words from Latin and religion include angel, demon, abbot, alms, altar, anthem, candle, collect, creed, deacon, disciple, hymn, martyr, mass, nun, offer, organ, palm, pope, priest, prime, prophet, psalm, relic, rule, Sabbath, temple, tunic. English words from Latin in education include school, history, verse, and the most hated word by students of English, grammar.
Wow, that was really interesting. I don't know that.
Well, there's more to come, and I'll tell you in our next lesson.
Great.
Okay, see you next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.